Alright, what is up YouTube? This is your boy VGS Young. Stay young and pretty, guys. I'm here to bring you another LOL beginner's guide. This one's a little bit more advanced kinda, but beginners should learn this pretty quick because it's something that people ask of you, especially if you play the support role. Basically what this is about, if you haven't read the title already, is warding. Warding is a huge part of the game because if you haven't seen the featured video, it is literally for the vision control. Knowing where your enemy team is all the time is always something good. You need to know where the jungler is. You need to know if the mid laner leaves, where he's going. Obviously the other mid laner could see it, but you could probably go behind his turret and walk through jungle, something like that. Well, I'm just gonna kind of show you some ward spots and what really warding is about, because I know it's kind of confusing at first, and I'm just in a custom game right now getting CS so I can buy wards for you guys, and I'll explain the initial idea for getting wards. So what you kind of want to do is start off with a vision ward, which is the trinket, or sorry, a warding totem. Sorry, I said vision ward, which is another whole type of ward. You want to start off with that, and basically the only people that should really not start with this is a jungler that wants to gank a lot, because you could start with a sweeping lens, which is a little bit more useful, or you can just start with the scrying orb, which I don't really recommend because I jungle personally and it's not that good. But it's everyone's personal preference. I'm not really gonna judge you on that. But so basically on your first back, usually you wanna buy wards, because you have your warding trinket. That's cool and all, but you really do want to have the better wards and the bigger wards, which are the stealth wards, which last an extra 30 seconds, and the vision wards, which last the entire game but can be seen and destroyed. So I'll kind of show you where that is. If you go into all items, it can be the first ones here, or you can go in all items, vision and trinkets, and you can see them right here. I'm just gonna waste all my money on these. I'll kind of explain this to you. So a warding totem, the thing about it, it's good later game because it does the same thing as a stealth ward. It lasts 120 seconds past level 9, but starting the game, it's only good for those quick wards that are about 60 seconds, and a stealth ward lasts 3 minutes. And a vision ward, like I said, lasts the entire game. Basically, I'm going to explain it from each lane. If you want a top lane, of course, this is really for all lanes. You kind of want to ward the jungle bush. For top lane, it's this bush right here. I'll ping it for you, and I'll do another tutorial on pinging for you guys later. You just kind of put it in the bush, so if anybody walks into the bush from another team, you can see that they're in the bush. And also, if they're walking up to the bush, you'll see them walking to it or around it. So it kind of covers like all this area. And another one you could do is, if you're a little bit more pushed up, maybe to here, you can do a vision ward or a regular stealth ward in here, which is also really good because you can see if their top laner pushes down through here to plant a ward here and then comes back up through tri-bush. So then I'll kind of go on to mid lane. Mid lane is the lane that's usually open for ganks because of the multiple ways to come in through the lane. There's here, of course, there's the two bushes, one that I just came through and the one on the other side, and then there's the complete opposite side where you have this and this. So what you kind of want to do is, usually if I'm on this side, right, and I'm getting CS from this side, and I'm on this blue team, what you want to do is you want to ward over the wall like this. And this is a strategy that a lot of people need to get better at, because when you do something like this and you just come and face check the bush, the jungler could be in here. There's a small chance, but the jungler could still be in there, and that's insta-death almost, unless you have an escape like Nidalee, or I don't really know too many other people with good escapes, but basically if you have a good escape, you can get out of there. But it's usually you're in trouble because the jungler doesn't really gank unless he knows he can get a kill or at least do enough damage to blow flash or something like that. So you're gonna be in some trouble. And on top of that, if the laner sees you running to the bush, she's gonna start moving this way to help the jungler out if you actually go through that bush. So you kind of want to ward over the wall, and I'll show you from the other perspective too. If you ward this way, if you ward over this wall, it's kind of weird. You kind of gotta plant it in the red or in the green, and you just kind of plant it over the wall. What I've also seen is people using vision wards, which aren't as good because if the jungler steps in here, he can destroy it. But if they do ward it, you can see the ward and destroy it. That's the other good thing about vision wards, is that if you plant it, say I plant it here, and they plant a ward, let's say right there, the vision ward, it not only, you know, shows a bigger vision and lasts the entire game, but it also shows stealth wards. So buying a vision ward and stealth wards is really important. So usually people put this one, the vision ward, either really deep in their jungle or here, right here, or the same thing on the other side if I were to replicate it. And also in Dragon Pit, which is right here. Sorry, I almost attacked Dragon. It's kind of right here. You just kind of put one right there, and if they try to ward it, you'll know if they warded because you'll see them go to it for one, and because you'll see their ward. So another side to it is you have to also ward Baron, which is, if you don't know, it's the boss, kind of. It's the later game boss that you do. Dragon's kind of the mid-game-ish boss that you do. And you just kind of do these sparingly whenever you have time, whenever you get an ace, or if you have maybe a Gaudier on your team, you can do it. But what you do with Baron is you kind of have to ward around Baron because a lot of people try to steal Baron from you, and that gives you a buff, just like red and blue buff, which I'll also do a video on for junglers. Basically, you try to ward here because you don't want them coming down through mid lane. You try to ward around here, but usually in this bush because this is where people like to sit and then kind of just, you know, hop over the wall and go for Baron. You can ward here, but I don't really do this because if you see them there, you'll kind of know that they're heading this way, and it's not as obvious. And then the last place is Tribush over here. But basically that's it for the regular ward spots. And basically if you just flip the map and you're on purple team, you'll see the same thing, and you'll realize that it's just the same side just flipped over. Top lane's bot lane and bot lane's top lane. So you'll be able to, if you saw me do it here, you'll just be able to replicate it on the opposite side, or opposite team, sorry. But the next place is deep wards. When you're pushed up on a turret, like how my minions are pushed up here and they're going for this turret, you gotta get deeper wards because you have to have more vision. And because also they can come gank you from places like here, and, you know, maybe like lock you down when you're fighting the turret and just get you and spear you and all this type of craziness. And you have to have vision to that. Now, you know, for the lazy people, you just ward right over the wall. That's good. It's terrific. But what smarter players would do to get better vision is you'd ward in this bush. That way you have full control of their red, this walkway, a little bit of this walkway if they come a little bit closer to the bush and go this way, and you have the entrance from over here. So the only way they can really come at you is if they come all the way around through river, which I really doubt, or they come through river, then through Tribush, then through this bush, and that's another place you could ward, but it's not really that big. And then in mid lane it's the exact same thing. You just want to ward in the jungle. Usually I ward right here in this bush because people tend to come through here and then walk this way and then kind of come into this bush and then just, you know, hop out at you. Gotta get out of there. Just took a terror shot for no reason. But that's the kind of the deep wards for jungling as well, because early game, if you want to set up for those deep wards really early, so you can know where their jungler is at all times. So if you put a ward, I'll go back, if you put a ward here, you'll know their jungler. If he walks through here, he's going to be near the red or somewhere in this side. So your top laner and mid laner can play a little bit more passive, but also you can set up for a counter gank. Like you could stay in this area near your blue and maybe farm wit or something like that. And that's just an easier way to like understand the map and have control of your map. And now on the other side, what I like to do is I like to put a vision ward or a stealth ward in this bush, because it shows them walking through here and here. So if their mid laner comes for blue buff, let's say, you'll know that because you'll see it through here, kind of how you could see the vision from where I am. It's kind of bad, but you know, this is It's not the best warding place right here, but it's really good. You can also try to put a stealth ward right in the middle, and my warding totem comes back up right there, basically, because it stealths itself. And I'll walk away so you can see what it basically covers. It covers a little bit of here, a little bit of here, and a little bit of here, but they can sneak around if they come from this area and go here. So that's one deep ward. The other deep ward is here, and the last deep ward that I know of is over here in this tri-bush. And this one's if you're pushed up bot lane, same thing, or even if you want to get some ward control in their jungle. But this one's not as good for early lane jungling or early game deep warding against the other jungler, because most junglers usually don't come through this bush for a gank, except if you're like a Rengar or Lee Sin and you want to kind of hop in the fight, I guess you could say. And really, guys, that's it about warding. I'll just go over a quick thing really quick. Sorry, it kind of sounded repetitive there, but with vision wards, you're able to see other wards. They don't die out unless people kill them. They can be seen, and they cover a bigger radius with their light, you can say. Then you have stealth wards, which last longer than warding totems. They stealth themselves so people can't see them unless you sweep the area with sweeping lens, which is another form of trinket that junglers can start with. And the regular warding totem is basically you get it for free. It lasts 60 seconds and has a 120-second cooldown. But you kind of get more of a benefit at level 9 because it increases to 120-second duration, but it still has a 120-second cooldown, so you get the full duration, and then it should be back up by the time it's down, by the time it finishes, you know, cooling down. So if I put one down, and by the time it runs out, I should have mine back up, roughly. Not technically, you should have a little bit of time in between, but it's not that bad. And one more thing, guys, I actually forgot to say. On your first back, you should also switch your warding totem to a sweeping lens, except if you're the ADC, because a sweeping lens, since you bought wards, you don't really need a warding totem. You need a sweeping lens to find other wards, and that's what the point of a sweeping lens is for. So you switching to a sweeping lens that first back, buying a vision ward and possibly 2 to 3 stealth wards, and then, you know, whatever piece of gear you can get, will benefit your team in vision control. Now, one of the things that is important about warding that you guys can't forget is it does cost a little bit of money, so it does hold you back in the game. So doing it in, say, blind pick wouldn't be that good because it's more of a selfish type of game, but doing it in something like ranked, for instance, would be better because people actually play for the team and play for the win most of the time. But guys, that's all I have to say for this League of Legends beginner video, if you guys know what quotations I mean it for. But this is your boy VGS Young. Stay young and pretty, guys. I'll bring you another video. The next one's either going to be a jungling video on jungling times and jungling camps, or on how to get CS. This is your boy VGS Young. Like I said, stay young and pretty. I'm out, guys. Peace.